What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in reality or whatever.
Period, mama. Period.
I'm your host, Pharaoh, and we're joined by our wonderful co-host,
Lee.
Period. Lee, how you doing? How you feeling this week?
Girl. I feel so bad. I feel conflicted, just slightly.
Okay.
Because I feel like most of the T-Core stands like myself. Mm-hmm. We also kind of fuck with Leah this whole time.
Okay.
I really fucked with Leah. Leah is my girl. Because I feel like IRL, I can vibe with Leah. I have a best friend that's just like Leah. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, me and Leah, we see each other. We both chubby chasers, you know?
Boom. Period.
I'm the chubby, she's a chaser. See, we see each other. But she took my mama out. Mm-hmm. And that T-Karma got her. Like, I just don't know how else you explain it. There's no what else to explain it. When you're a kind and pure and just beautiful soul like T-Core was, karma comes for the haters quickly. We saw it with Taylor Hale. We did.
Ooh,
we did. Unfortunately, Leah and Angela had to catch that karma slap.
They just had
now
to.
They're both sitting on the block for eviction night.
Yep. Real bad.
Real nastily. And like, I can't say anything else but T-Karma. I can't. So it's like, I'm conflicted because I actually like Leah. And it's always a really shitty situation when the friend of someone puts someone on the block. Mm-hmm. Like, why are you nominating someone that trusts you in general? Even if you don't like them, that girl trusts you and she made you know that so many fucking times. So I feel bad for Leah, but it's like, girl, I can't feel that bad because you took my sister out the game. And then she regretted it. Yeah. She went on the block and then she regretted it. She was like, I should have never put T-Core up. T-Core would have never made me feel this way. T-Core would have listened to me. And it's like, yeah, Leah. Yeah, she would have. You should have took out Chelsie when you had the chance. But I'm happy you didn't.
Because that's the winner.
The next BB legend is born.
The next BB legend is born. And look, I just got to say it right off the bat because y'all just going to have to be mad the whole podcast. I've been on Twitter getting ate up left, right, up and down.
Girl, same.
Because I've had these opinions about Chelsie. And it's like, that's my opinion! And y'all are really, really mad. Y'all are really, really mad and upset about these opinions that I have about Chelsie. So if that's going to really itch your soul and it's going to make the inside of you itch.
Leave the podcast now.
Just go ahead and click off because you're going to be mad.
You're going to be mad. You're going to be mad. You're going to be mad.
I would want you to be mad because Chelsie is being birthed at this moment. It's like we're watching a birth live. Have you ever seen those videos where you watch somebody's childbirth and their heads popping out and then the doctor pulls them out and then now they're there but their umbilical cord is still there and you got to cut the umbilical cord? We're literally in the stage where Chelsie is out of the body, but the umbilical cord is still attached. And when she wins the game, the umbilical cord is going to get snapped and she's going to be a born mother. And it's like, wow, like we're watching the birth of a legend. It's literally insane. Like,
and if you choose to ignore it, I'm sorry, don't be confused on finale night when she wins and we call her a legend as she is. Because the big debate is she top 5? Is she top 10? Is she top 15?
Is she neither?
And a lot of people are trying to say she's none of them. Like, you can at least say top 15. Like, at the end of the day, everyone has their biases. Everyone has their opinions on it. So I understand if you're like, objectively, she's not my top 5. Objectively, she's not my top 10. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to sit here and act like she's not top 15. Mm-hmm. You can give her top 15. Personally, top 15. I think if she wins this season, Chelsie is one of the baddest bitches that's ever stepped foot in the Big Brother house. I think that she's up there with Derek, Dan, and Dr. Will. For me personally, if she wins this season, I think that she is up in the pantheon.
Let it be known. And I agree. And I made a tweet about the top 15 because basically I said she's giving top 15 already. People were trying to argue. I was like, name 15 better players. And I ain't seen one list where they got them all. Now, I will say, I guess if you have your opinion on play styles and I'll give you top 20 if you want to be just this real picky girl and you just don't think she's that good. Sure, give it top 20. But the girls who are trying to say she's not even good, are you watching?
She's nowhere near. But you know what? You know what the excuse that pisses me off, that gags me, is the cast is dumb.
Oh!
I don't That's such a dumb argument. First of all, it's an argument that has been used against Derek, one of the best of all time. People have used it against Paul. People have used it against the best.
So many people.
That argument already. I don't think that's a fair argument because personally, I feel like there has to be some stupidity in the cast for these legends to be born. You can definitely say Dan in BB14 when he did Dan's funeral on Frank, that Frank was a dummy. Frank was an idiot. We're not going to act like Frank is a smart player.
Please.
It takes some dumb pawns to be used by a mastermind.
Amen.
A nice balance of both. She is that girl, and these people suck. But to say these people suck and to act like this season hasn't had blindside after blindside after vote flip, AI arenas here and there, 3 nominees every week. You can say that strategically this cast has been lacking, but this has been a very adverse season. And I think anyone who wins at this point has had to face so much adversity. And that's why I think Chelsie would be a great winner because she's faced so much adversity within the season. What player do you know went from the top of the season to the bottom, then back to the top? This girl has orchestrated eviction after eviction after eviction while not even being in the prime position.
Clock it.
Like she's the safest going into a double eviction when she should be the most in danger. We're going to act like this girl is not literally cultivating influence around her. Like, even if these people aren't the smartest, she's still eating it up. It takes a smart player to run some idiots. We've seen Derek do it in BB16. We've seen Dan do it in BB14. We've seen people work with idiots before. And that's the thing. Most of the people who play this game are idiots.
Literally.
We're not going to act like most of the people who play this game are not dumb as people who they cast. Like, come on now.
And then like people keep trying to say like they're dumb and she's also dumb, and it's like, how is she also dumb but you can also see that she's literally running them? If she's dumb, how is she running a group of people? It just really doesn't make sense in any sense of the term. I just feel like people don't like her personally, which is all power to you. You don't gotta like her
because we don't know what what those views are giving 100%. So I definitely understand. But
it's like we're talking about game. This is game, Davon.
This is game.
This is game. Not personal. We're not talking about personal game.
But when I made my tweet, people in the comments like, "Oh, it's how she treats Cam." You mean her most loyal ally?
These people are talking personal game and you talking game. I need y'all to go watch that video and then come back. But anyways, it's definitely giving, in my opinion, Chelsie is making a very, and we're going to get into the move. Let me pull up the people actually, because this move is really what's making this conversation really spark. Because honestly, name a player who isn't considered a legend who has convinced someone to take out somebody good for their game. That does not happen often in this game,
especially when that player literally said out of their own mouth they are not doing it for the very smart reasons listed. Literally, and they were still convinced to do otherwise.
It's such a rare thing to do, whether the person who's doing it is dumb or not. When the players who can convince someone to take out their ally are super, in my opinion, they're all top caliber, top tier players. In my opinion. And that's barely ever even happened in Big Brother history. Like Anthony did it like 3 fucking times in the same season, but that's Anthony Douglas, one of the best players of Big Brother Canada history. And it's like Big Brother, literally Big Brother history. There were people who they had their top 15 list and they were putting Maggie on it as if someone above Chelsie. And it's like, that's fine. But also the move Maggie made that made Howie flip on his ally and I'm his ally is damn near identical to the move Chelsea's making to have Makensy flip on her ally. Like, it's like very similar ideologies. So I feel like if you're going to understand that Maggie's a good player, wouldn't you understand that Chelsie, who's also convincing someone to also take out someone good for their game, is also a good player? And this is the thing. The difference between Chelsie and I feel like a lot of the other players that were being mentioned as high caliber is if Chelsie wins this game, bitch, it's probably gonna be like unanimous vote. That's the thing. We'll revisit this combo at the finale, because if she wins with a unanimous vote, Chelsie will have been the 3rd player ever to play a perfect game because she has 0 votes to evict. And if she gets all of the votes at the end, she'll have all of the votes. And the only other people to do that are Dan and Cody. So if she does it, that should be enough evidence to shut y'all up, because she would be the first woman and the only other person to do it. So let's just wait and let's just see, and then we'll revisit. Okay. Period. So this week, Makensy wins head of household. And we're coming off of Janky Week where Leah just made her move on T-Core.
I don't know what that was.
We don't know what that was. It was Janky Week is what it was.
It was janky as fuck.
Mm-hmm. So Makensy wins this head of household, and very quickly we see that her target this week is going to be Angela, which was interesting because her, Angela, and Leah kind of had a threesome kind of going on. It seemed like she was going to be positioning herself very well.
I thought that was the whole point of taking out T-Core. You take out you take out Chelsea's number, you weaken her, and now you get to play in between Rubina, Kimo, Angela, Leah, and your trio. I mean, she was set up perfectly. I think the best path for her this week was to just target Rubina and Kimo.
Yeah, honestly. And 100% would be to target Rubina and Kimo because Chelsie and Cam have to target Leah and Angela, and Leah and Angela have to target Chelsie and Cam. There's really... You put them in between a rock and a hard place. Now, with the move she's making, Chelsie is putting Makensy and Cam between a rock and a hard place with Rubina and Kimo. Now, those two duos feel like they have to take each other out, and Chelsea's in the middle. So Makensy could be putting herself in the best position in the game, and instead she's putting herself in a terrible position.
And I love it. What?
And I do also love it.
Eat it up, mama. Eat it up.
I do also love it. So
I wanted to talk about this real quick because Hula hate this up in the chat.
Period.
Hula Hay says if we're going to use the cast as dumb excuse, then let's clock it and use the white majority cast that Dan, Will, and Derek all benefited from. A privilege a player like Chelsie never been given. Ooh, because one thing about these diverse seasons, some of your greats, some of your faves would be flopping. Let's keep it real. Because the only reason why they were able to eat it up is because they were filled with a bunch of dummies that was willing to do whatever they say. That's why even though you can say that this isn't a strategically strong cast, this is still one of the best seasons we've seen in modern day because it's so dynamic. They can provide a dynamicness to the game instead of everyone just following the leader.
Yeah, and I saw a tweet that if Chelsie played a game before BB16 or something like that, she would have been out pre-jury and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, yeah, she would have been out pre-jury because every black woman was out pre-jury in that era of the game. It's not it's not something that is evident towards her gameplay. It's more so the fact that she literally is black, and that's it. And there was a whole 16-player gas. BB17 was 16 white people, 15 white people, James and Davon. Please. Like, come on now.
Iago.
Come on now. So it was very, very circumstantial in them olden seasons. And it's way harder to navigate a game where there's people who you wouldn't have necessarily been around in your regular life, and you have to navigate between that than it is to navigate a game with everybody who's your same race and hair color. So, child, we move. Makensy wants to target Angela. She puts up Kimo as a pawn. So, and that's the thing. I don't even know what
up right there.
I don't even know what she was thinking, because I saw someone say that they feel like maybe the T-Core move was because she was jealous of not jealous, but like she wanted Chelsie to herself. And with T-Core here, I can never really be as close to Chelsie as I need to be because I got to worry about her potentially taking T-Core or something like that. So T-Core going makes Makensy feel comfortable, like, oh, I have my ally all to myself. I kind of get that. Like, you want to cut your allies' other options off as much as possible.
Right.
But I feel like it was rooted in, I want Chelsie to be my close ally, not rooted in, I want to be in a good position in the game.
Right. She didn't want to take Chelsea's position. She just wanted to take Chelsie and keep her close and tight. And I feel like also, too, it's kind of a mixture of both because, to be honest, Makensy has been feeling some way about T-Core since the way early weeks in the game. She's always mentioned T-Core as someone who she would potentially nominate or target. So I'm not shocked that it came to a head this week, last week.
I agree.
And she really just never had a chance until that week.
Literally. So that's her target at the beginning of the week. Already bad for her, no shade. She goes to win the power of veto. When she wins the power of veto, I'm like, oh, okay, Angela's going the fuck home.
Right.
Chelsea's like, Leah's going to fuck home. And this is the whole, even the idea of Chelsie thinking to convince Makensy to use the veto on her own nominees to put up somebody else who is way better for her game. Just her thinking of that puts her at a caliber of player that so many people really don't reach. Like, this concept is like kind of out of the ordinary. And I remember talking about this when we talked about Anthony's game. I'm like, the legendary players are the ones who think of something that you wouldn't even think made sense.
Right. Most people would be like, when Makensy won, fuck it, we're done.
Fine. It's like most people would just accept this. Also, Angela going is good for Chelsie too. Angela would put up Chelsie as well. So it's not like she had to make this move. It was more so she wanted to. And I feel like and also it's more so she's active. She's super engaged in every single thing that occurs in this game. And that's not something you see from a bad player or even an average player. Like, she's at an above average caliber. Like, there's been so many moves that I've been noticing from Chelsie, like the Tucker flip. Like, even at the beginning, she had so much control of the game when the Pentagon was running it. And then the way she handled the Pentagon flip was super impressive. And then the way she flipped the house on Tucker was super impressive. And those moves were impressive, but a part of me was just like, oh, okay, it's kind of the flow of the season. She's just doing what she has to do. She's clearly very good, but are you a legend? And this is the move that I'm like, okay, you're
legend status.
You're getting up to legend status, because convincing someone to do something that they don't even need to do, they shouldn't do, is like a tier above flipping a vote, or a tier above, all of that other stuff. Like, even I feel like T-Core is a very great player. And even comparing Chelsea's game to T-Core's game, I've always been like, Chelsea's a little more active. Mm-hmm. And this is like an indicator. Like, this is something that, even though T-Core is a great player, she would have to be a legend to think to do something like this. And I feel like that's what the level that Chelsie is on, honestly, already. I hate to say it. Y'all just gonna have to be mad. So boom. She decides to convince Makensy to put Leah up on the block. And she starts talking to Makensy about it. Makensy's like not fully sure. And then she has conversations with Leah, and Leah's basically like convincing her back to not wanting to put Leah up. She's like, okay, Leah's right. I probably shouldn't put her up. I don't know if this is good. And Chelsea's giving her all these reasons. She's like, the jury will love you if you do this. This is a move that the jury will definitely vote you for sure. And Leah will put you up just as much as she'll put any of us up. And, Leah's only person is Angela. She doesn't care about anybody but Angela. Like, all of these reasons, which
and then Makensy also kind of helped get herself manipulated, because Makensy really shared a lot of information that Leah was saying last week. And this is why a lot of people, I feel like, thought that Chelsea's game was over last week, because it seemed like Cam and Makensy were forming these relationships outside of Chelsea's like structure. Mm-hmm. But literally by the beginning of this week, all the information went back to Chelsie, every last bit of it. So Chelsie was aware of all of the things Leah was saying about wanting to target her, wanting to target potentially Cam. So that really flipped both of them on Leah this week. So I just feel like it's so interesting that Makensy didn't realize that sharing this information was going to obviously make Chelsie want this girl out, and then was so confused when it was getting pushed upon her, as if you didn't share in the first place, that she was literally targeting her.
Girl. Cam also wants Leah out. He's been wanting Leah out for a while. So it wasn't hard for Chelsie to convince Cam to also want Leah out. And then when she did, now we have Chelsie and Cam convincing Makensy. So at this point, Makensy has agreed. And she decides to renom Leah and take off Kimo from the block. So the final nominees are Leah and Angela in that situation. And here we are. Leah and Angela are both on the block. There was a fallout, because there was like a 3-hour conversation that Leah had with Makensy after this. Chelsie was in there as well. And Leah's just trying to hash out everything, figure out everything that's going on. But at the end of the day, she's going home. Not really much she can do.
There's nothing that can be done. Like, once she was put on the block in this way, like, there was no way she was staying. She is going home.
Yeah, it's too bold of a move. Like, even Makensy, after she put up Leah and she talked to Leah, there was a moment where she didn't want Leah to get evicted. But it's like, it's too late. Like, and Chelsie kind of was explaining that to her. You can't really back out of it now, because you already put her on the block. She's definitely going to nominate you after this. And it's like, that's very, very true. So now that the move is made, it's over. Leah is really probably finna head out the door right after T-Core, right after her HOH. And it's like, oh, girl.
That's nasty. But hey, like I said, that's that T-Karma.
That's that T-Karma real bad. NC asks, hi, NC. Lee and Pharaoh, do you think Chelsie will get pawed if she makes final two? I'm concerned the jury may be bitter when they get there and start comparing notes. Lee, what do you think?
I just generally don't think so. Quinn has respected Chelsea's game. I think he respects the game of Big Brother, which is why he will respect Chelsie. I think T-Core obviously respects Chelsie. Yeah. Leah, like, she can be bitter a little bit, but I don't think she's like angry to the point of like she won't respect the game. Like, I genuinely don't think that any of these people would be that mad about her playing the game. This seems like, and I thought they would be more emotional too, but I feel like they will understand because she's not like overtly nasty, like how people think that try to act like she is. She truly isn't. It's like they don't perceive her in that way, basically. So I don't think she'll go down in that way.
I agree, and I think Leah is more bitter at Makensy. Like, I feel like Leah, if she would to be bitter, would be more bitter at Makensy than Chelsie, especially if she goes in the jury and she's talking to Chelsea's number one and number two fan, no shade. Like, Quinn and T-Core are going to have conversations. They're going to be like, why the fuck did Makensy do that? And then when they talk it out, I feel like it's going to be very obvious she was manipulated about Chelsie. Chelsea's playing a good game, and Makenzie's just a little dumb, no shade. So I don't even think it'll affect her, even with people like Leah, who she hasn't been like best friends with. I feel like even Leah would respect the game by the time she's talking to everybody else who respects the game. So I think she's fine. I think she's really good with the jury. I don't worry about the jury. So I mean, shit, this was a very simple week. It's only what, 6 people left?
I mean, some other people are targeting other people. So I know Rubina and Kimo, they mentioned after Makensy won veto that Makensy is starting to become the new Tucker. We don't know if we want her here much longer, but they also kind of said that they feel like we don't want to get the blood on our hands. Now, blood on your hands at what, top 7, top 6? What are you talking about? But it's seemingly possible that Makensy could be a target in this double eviction. We can talk about something like double eviction.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So going into this double eviction, who do you feel like we can go through it all with Kimo and Rubina? Who would they probably nominate? Leah's going home, and they want to target Makensy.
Angela and Makensy.
They don't have options. They're not putting up Chelsie.
I think Rubina will put up Angela and Cam, but Kimo would probably do Angela and Makensy.
Okay. So they're in a lot of danger with Kimo and Rubina. Makensy can't play. Cam would want to do. This is what's interesting. Cam has recently started saying he would prefer Angela in his final 4 for it to be Chelsie, Cam, Angela, and Makensy. He kind of wants Kimo out for sure, and then maybe Rubina out as well. And he would prefer Angela in the final 4 with them. And I think it's a good idea for his game because Angela would target Chelsie before him, most likely, probably even Makensy before him. So I think it's smart that she won't target him, and she's one of the only people he could beat. No shade. Yeah. So I think that's a good idea, but I'm wondering what is his reasoning?
Exactly. I don't think he's doing that because Angela will target Chelsie. I mean, that's the thing. Him wanting it, that's what ends up happening anyway. Kimo and Rubina are willingly going to final 3 with Chelsie and will lose to Chelsie, and Angela won't. Yeah. So I mean, that could be his reasoning, but it also makes me think, if that is his reasoning, does he not want to go to the end with Chelsie? Because in my mind, Cam is very loyal to Chelsie, and he wants final 2 with Chelsie. Yeah. So I don't think him wanting her in final 4 means he doesn't want to be in the end game with Chelsie. I think he is still willing to lose to Chelsie. So I'm like, I don't really know, because he didn't really set up much motivation as to why he wanted this all of a sudden. He just said like he feels like they're scheming and setting up lies and trying to cause dissension. Mind you, Rubina and Kimo have been singing all week.
Yeah, I think he just feels threatened by Rubina and Kimo. Honestly, I feel like he might feel like he doesn't have a good connection. He doesn't have really a connection with Kimo at all. And I feel like he doesn't feel like he have a great connection with Rubina. So with the people left, he's like, they're in a duo. Leah's going home. He's probably just thinking of the house without Leah, and it's like the next most threatening thing is Kimo and Rubina. I think he has good instincts a little bit, because at the moment when Cam needed to do something or play, he always, in my opinion, kind of chose the right decision towards it. Like when he got that information a long time ago about Quinn exposing the power, he was immediately like, he probably exposed some of the alliance too. Like, I think his immediate ideas are very good instinctually. And I feel like he's just thinking about next week, and instinctually he's like, Rubina and Kimo gotta go, which is probably true. because I don't think they care about him that much. Like, they would nominate him, like you said. So that's how they're looking. And Chelsie would definitely target Angela. And because she has the most control, I feel like at the double, it's most likely for Angela to go. No one really likes her anyways. A few people would nominate her anyways. Probably everybody would nominate her anyways. And then when it comes to who's been discussed about being evicted, Angela's just been the most discussed. So Angela could definitely go at the double for sure. Mm-hmm.
Or a Makensy situation, because I was thinking before the podcast, if Cam is gung-ho about this whole Rubina and Kimo thing, imagine a world where Cam wins HOH in the double, nominates Rubina and Kimo, Angela wins veto, uses it on Kimo, and then they both evict Makensy to renom. It's like, oh, that would be nasty. So there is a chance Makensy could leave. I mean, Rubina and Kimo could double down their decision. I don't know. But, it depends on who wins this veto, because if Angela is able to win veto or win an HOH in this double, then it's fucked for a lot of people.
Yeah, if Angela wins HOH, she would, I think, nom Chelsie, either Chelsie and Makensy or Chelsie and Cam. So
I think she would do Chelsie and Cam. I feel like she would do Chelsie and Cam.
I see that too. I think she would do Chelsie and Cam as well. And that's the thing. There's no way, in my opinion, that Chelsie can go at the double, because the only person who would nominate her is Angela. And if Chelsie and Cam are nommed, everyone's evicting Cam.
Right. I don't even think Makensy, Rubina, Kimo, they're all evicting Cam. Yeah. If she put her up next to Makensy, Cam, Rubina, and Kimo are evicting Makensy. Yeah. If she's up next to Kimo, Makensy and Cam keeping Chelsie. If she up next to Rubina, Makensy and Cam keeping Chelsie. Like,
yeah. She's like the only one who's 100% safe going into this. Everyone else, there's a potential. Like, if Cam's numbed against Chelsie, he's going home. So everyone else, there's a potential for them to go home. But Chelsie is 100% safe. She's probably guaranteed Final Five. And that'll be very interesting. So tune in on Thursday. Thursday's going to be a good one, y'all. Let's get into the motherfucking ratings, Lee. So, last week. Oh!
I don't want to do it.
Lee, yo bestie. T-Core left last week. What do you feel about T-Core as an overall rating?
I love T-Core so much. She came into this game as an underdog, and I feel like she really got a nice footing in front of her. She was brought into the collective, which was a really powerful majority alliance. She had good ties to the Pentagon, even though she wasn't in it, and she was told early about it. She wasn't told early about Quinn's power, but it got exposed early enough to where, it benefited her as well. And she was able to be behind some pretty strong vote flips, like when it came down to just getting out Cedric. I believe she also, I don't care what no one says, I feel like she had a hand in taking out Joseph as well. And Tucker went home on her HOH. That's not necessarily on her, but it was under her HOH reign, period. I feel like there are just a lot of positive qualities in her social game. Like, for a while, people said how much they loved T-Core. When she won HOH, they praised her. Basically, people were in tears. Leah herself is regretting sending this girl home. Like, she loves her so much that she was like, I didn't even want to do that. I feel like I was doing it because it was best for my game, and now it sucks. So I just feel like, she was one of the front runners to actually win if she did not get caught up in this janky week. And the main reason why she got caught up is because she was a very complacent player. A lot of the time she would come up with these plans and these theories and these strategies and these alliances that she wanted to make, and she just would not activate. She would not get up and make these things happen. Like, the reason why Leah even took her out is probably a big reason, because she was being complacent in her relationship with Leah. She wasn't creating an alliance with her. She wasn't bringing her into any information. She, for the last, I would say, week or so of her game, was really only solidifying and re-solidifying with Kimo, Rubina, and Chelsie. So everyone knew where she stood with them, but no one knew where they stood with her. So MJ, Cam, they didn't trust how much they could actually work with her because she didn't really give them anything. So I just wish she wasn't so caged off. I wish she wasn't just so, for lack of better words, insecure in her gameplay, because she was such a strong player that if she was more open and just more dynamic with her gaming, that I don't think she would have even went home last week. I just wish she was more active. So I think an active T-Core, I would give her a 6 or higher. But because of the inactiveness, I'm just going to say that's 5.5.
Interesting. You know, when you were talking, it reminded me, I agreed with what a lot you said. It kind of reminded me of some of the critiques we had for Jason Guy in Big Brother 3 in our BB3 rewind.
Oh my God. Yes.
Very, very interesting. It's kind of like she had a lot of win equity. She was probably going to win the game over everyone. She was super well liked. But the issue is that she's like just not super active. She's also very smart, and I feel like those were a lot of similarities with Jason. People gonna get real mad, so let me just clear it up. Sorry. When we did our BB3 rewind and we got into the feed archives of what was going on and all the strategy conversations, I hate to say it, I hope I don't sound ridiculous. Jason Guy wasn't a super active strategic player. He was just, very, very social, very well liked, and there were strategic moments. And it really does remind me of T-Core, just a modern day version. And I remember for him, I was like, damn, it's like giving, no shade, like a 6.5 at most, because it's like there was a cap. And when it came to the strategy, no matter how smart she was or how many good reads she has or how many good strategies she came up with, she wouldn't enact a lot of them. And so for me, I was like, ooh, I don't really love that. And I feel like that really put her down for me. But honestly, overall, her gameplay was very, very good. And it was very effective, especially at the beginning of the game. Like her being capable of flipping the vote and still being in the good graces of everyone on both sides of the flips for the most part, except like one person, was very, very impressive. And even going forward from that, it was super difficult to get her out of this game. It was a very circumstantial thing with Leah, and even that was a bad move, as Leah agrees. So I feel like she could have easily, in a different universe, in a different world, made it to the final 3, to the final 2, and even won the game in this season because of how good she was. Honestly, strategically, like understanding her position, and then also very much socially, she was just in such a good position the entire game. And her game was honestly short. I feel like for me, I would give her a 6.5. Feel like it's definitely high caliber, above a lot of the people who I would consider average for sure. Very strong gameplay. She just went home a little early, got snipped a little early.
Yeah, I think that's why I settled on the 5.5, because it's like, this is her first and maybe last appearance on Big Brother. So I'm just thinking like, this is what we got. Yeah. And it ended so quickly because of that complacency, which makes me feel like I have to like bring it lower. Cause I'm like, girl, like like the fact that she could have got out of it and she didn't, it's like, girl.
Yeah.
Girl.
Shout
you got to earn that higher, mama.
Theodore says, thank you for the exquisite content as per usual. Question. If Chelsie goes home in the double, she won't, of course. How would you rank the last 5 in terms of who you want to see win? Ugh. So if Leah and Chelsie are gone.
Oh, Leah and Chelsie?
Yeah, because Leah's going home this week if Chelsie goes in the double. She obviously won't. Oh, so God. Thank God we don't have to really consider this. Honestly, right off the bat, I would hate it. I already told Lee this week. I was watching the episode on Sunday, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of people who I don't really necessarily care for. All the people I cared for are gone. Because, I was a Joseph stan low-key. Loved T-Core. Quinn was very entertaining. Cedric was my man. Tucker was very entertaining. I even kind of liked Brooklyn. And it's like, they just all went home. So for me, I've been hating on Kimo and Rubina all season. Cam has been a dud all season. So it's a very hard question. Who would I want to see win? I think I would want Cam, Makensy, Angela in the middle, Rubina, and then Kimo last. Yeah.
I feel like I can't even rank it.
Yeah.
Like, who do I want? Like, I don't want any of them to win if Chelsie.
Yeah. I really don't. I really don't. I pray. Kimo is next. Cam.
I'm just thinking. I thought about it for a moment. I was like, wow.
Cam the highest because he's black. I'm gonna just be real. I don't care for any of them, so it just reverts to anything else. So because of that, it would be Cam because he's black. Makensy because there's no reason. The only reason Cam is first is because he's black, and Kimo and Rubina last because they bore me. And Angela and Makensy, they don't bore me, but they're not black. There you go. Next we have Kimo, who last week we both gave a 1.5. What did he do this week? I forgot.
Get nominated again, but he got veto used on him
again. So did Angela. For me, I feel like Kimo, it's still very low for me. He didn't do much to get the veto used on himself. Even when Makensy came to him about using the veto, he was like, "You sure that's good for your game? I don't feel like it's good for your game." It's like, damn, do you not want to get vetoed? He didn't do anything strategically. He didn't go to anybody, have any conversations. He didn't make any alliances. I feel like I said all this shit last week. It's really it's been so low for so long. I'm gonna give him the 1.5 again because he got the veto used, but it should be like a 0.5. Honestly, he is just so much not doing anything. He's like very, very much a dud. Like I cannot. Lee.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go with the 2. He's really just not actively playing the game. He's a bigger social player, if anything, but it's like there's not much social prowess needed left right now in the game. Like Chelsie kind of got it wrapped up, and he is willing to go to the end with Chelsie and like lose to Chelsie. So I don't love that. I just it's crazy because like I don't even know what I want him to be doing, but
something.
Do something. Do something. I don't know. I really don't have any thoughts on Kimo, unfortunately.
I actually am irritated by Kimo. He actually irritates the fuck out of me. If I had to pick who I least want to win, he was at the bottom of the list. Yeah, I don't want Kimo to win. He won't, thank God. But
I also possibility.
He won't. I don't even want to see him. Unfortunately, who could he win against? Angela?
Rubina, maybe.
He not beating Rubina. The girls is voting Rubina. So yeah, I don't even honestly I don't even want to see him no more. I wish the double,
my God.
I wish the double was just a triple and he would go alongside of them. I'm so sick of seeing him. He gets on my nerves. But because why the fuck is you sitting up there taking up a spot and taking up air if you're not gonna do nothing all fucking season? It's been weeks and you ain't done shit. But not be a buffer for T-Core. And Leah. Honestly, I'd rather Leah here than him. I wish the nom stayed the same. I hate to say it. I'd rather Angela. I wouldn't rather Angela, but I think Angela Angela deserves more. Like Leah and Angela are going home for you to be here. T-Core went home and you still here. Quinn went home and you still here. Ugh. Next is Rubina. How are you feeling about Rubina?
Rubina, I'm feeling the same way. Rubina is in a slightly better position than Kimo, which I appreciate because she actively does speak with Chelsie and Makensy about games.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's everybody else's fault, not his. It's not his fault. I'm just mad. Keep going. I'm so sorry.
Wait, what do they mean by that? Everybody else thought his?
They're saying everybody else went home, like T-Core and them. That's their fault because they went home, not his fault. I'm not saying it's his fault. It's just his fault that he's not doing anything, and I'm bored. That's what his fault is. But you could keep going. I'm so sorry.
But yeah, no, Rubina, she even put in a little work this week. It was her conversation with Makensy that I think helped push it because Chelsie was the front runner, but she had Cam on one side, and then Rubina came up with the layup as well, and she had a good conversation with Makensy about some things that Leah was saying and doing, and that helped trick Makensy in her own mind. But Rubina, she's just not really in a position of power. I like that she's trying to like latch on to Chelsie, latch on to Makensy, and I do think it will get her to like top 4 at least, which is good. Maybe there's a competition that she could win that could really help her out. Like I can see Rubina winning, like how when JC won Final 4 HOH and everybody was like, oh my God. Like I can see Rubina doing that, honestly. It's just, can I see her sitting in Final 2? Can I see her winning this game? Right now, I don't really see that for her. And similar to Kimo, she's not really actively trying to come up with a way to get there from what I'm seeing. She's also very much willing to get to the end with Chelsie and potentially lose to Chelsie. So I don't love that. But she didn't touch the block this week, and she's working with the girls a little bit closer. So I'm going to give it a 4.
I see that. Shout out to Hula Hey.
Period, Hula Hey.
Hula Hey says, I know we don't get a vote, so here's $10 for Queen Chelsie. Must have deserved and earned 10s for being the greatest player in Big Brother history. Ooh, I know that's right. The Olivia Pope of BBI fear, period.
I see that, the Olivia Pope.
and Valietin cleared it up. My bad, Queen. Valietin me. It's the blame on the people that voted to keep him and use the veto on him. I'll let you have it. Rubina, honestly, I don't feel like she's like I feel like she has a lot of good qualities here and there, but honestly, I'm tired of saying that. I've been saying that for a while, and she still hasn't stepped it up. So for me, I don't like how inactive she is. She's very much so not doing a lot in the game. Like you said, like she had like 1 or 2 conversations, so that's good. She didn't get put on the block, so that's good. But other than that, I'm just not gagging. I feel like she could make it deep in the game because when it comes to the target hit list, I think Angela, Kimo, and Makensy have been discussed as targets more than her. And I can easily see her, that would put her in top 3. And I could see her in top 3. I could see her making it far enough with the right set of people and then winning the Final Four veto or winning the Final Four HOH or something like that. So I do see a potential for her get to the end. If she doesn't take Chelsie, I think she could win the votes because Rubina being a part of the trio is just as good as any other member. If Rubina ends up making it to Final 2, she could get T-Core, Kimo, and even Quinn's vote just because of their relationship. And that's 3, and all she would need is 1 more. So if she makes it to Final 2, and then she gets taken by Cam or taken by Makensy, or she takes one of them, it's like she could have 3 locked in votes potentially. So I can see a world where she gets to Final 3, and I can see a world where she gets some votes. So that's good, but when it comes to what she's doing, it's just not a lot. So because of that, I actually agree with the 4. I do. Next is Angela. She's not going home again this round of the double, but she could go home.
Angela's so hard.
She's not going home this round. She ended up surviving again. Leah's gonna go home. She might go at the double, but then again, she might not. She's good at competitions here and there, but when it comes to her path strategically with people, it doesn't exist. There's no one who's really going to care to save her in any of these instances, and she could easily just go. The benefit is she's a GOAT. Like, anyone could win against her, so she might make it to the end, but the issue is anyone can win against her, and I think that's a fact still. Even though people might have... I still do. It's just, I think everyone else has too many connections and she has 0. Like, I can't see anyone vouching for her. Even Leah, like, I don't think Leah loves her that much. I think Leah is kind of just, it was beneficial for Leah's game. If Leah's in jury and they're discussing, okay, Angela, Makensy, or Chelsie, I don't think Leah's going to be like, Angela definitely needs to win because she played the best game. I don't necessarily think Leah cares that much about Angela, especially knowing Angela tried to flip on her the week before and stuff like that. Like, I think it was more so beneficial relationship. So because of that, I don't see a world where she's sitting next to someone and they don't have more people vouching for them. If Makensy's in Final 2, Cam and Chelsie are going to vouch. If Cam's in Final 2, same thing. Rubina and Kimo, they have the trio. And Leah's going home.
Yeah.
So I just don't see it. It's really, really bad. And she's nommed. I don't think she's going, but she probably is going to go at the double, which is before our next rating. So not looking good for me. I'll give her the 2.
Yeah. I think Devin B says it best. It's unfortunate her attitude overshadows her resume, because I do think she has a really strong resume. And I do feel like in the event that she is next to someone like Rubina or Kimo in Endgame, which is possible if Cam gets his way, because Cam wants Angela in that top 4. You know, she may end up there with a Rubina or a Kimo. I can see that happening. And I think she could beat them just for the prowess of her gameplay. But I can also see her losing because people just don't like her. And they don't like her because of a lot of the things she's done in this house. She's entertaining to watch, but I know for a fact I wouldn't be able to live with her. I definitely would not be able to live with it. The crying every fucking week, she would have got on my fucking nerves by the end of week 1. Sorry. Especially, and then she came for T-Core. I would have been done. But no, I do think Angela deserves to win this game for a lot of reasons. It's just, I still don't necessarily see her getting there because it's always going to be easy to nominate her. And yes, she's good at competitions, but she's not that consistent with them. So I don't see her being able to like really comp her way out. But if she keeps getting saved, you know, she could be in Final 4. And if she's in Final 4, it's like only 1 or 2 competitions. Boom. Yeah. Now you're in top 3, but it just depends on who you're in top 3 with. But I feel like she could even probably beat a Cam, depending on what type of speech she gives and how the jury is perceiving Cam's game versus hers. So I do feel like she's gaining some win equity, but it's hard to really fully praise her for that, only because she's probably going to be nominated damn near every week moving forward if she's not going home. Or maybe the HOH. I don't know. But I'm gonna give it a 3. For some reason, I don't feel like she's gonna go home in this double. I feel like she has 2 chances to save herself. I will be shocked if she doesn't win HOH or veto in this double. Honestly,
I kind of see that too. It's unfortunate because I feel like she deserves to win over a lot of people. I don't know. I don't want to see that world because I just want Chelsie to win. But in the world that Angela's in final 2 against any of these other duds, if she loses, it's kind of like, y'all don't deserve it over her. No shade. She's done a lot.
Yeah, but, I feel like deserving winner. If Chelsea's not here, it has to be Angela.
It's Angela. It's 100% Angela. She's put her heart into this game and many, many tears. She could fill up the whole house with the tears, baby. And I really appreciate the
question. How many tears has Angela shed since she walked into the Big Brother house to now?
I appreciate that. And she's the only fan left in the game. No shade. Well, Kimo's allegedly a fan, but no shade. Everybody else is a recruit. So, and it's that passion, you can feel it. You really can feel the passion in the player. Angela just seems more concerned about winning than any of these other people. They all just seem lazy. Cam and Makensy and Rubina and Kimo, they just seem like lazy ass players. Angela is super concerned. She wants to win bad. And so that would make me feel content with her winning over any of them. But hey, we move.
I agree.
Next is Cam. How you feel
about Cam? I'm always pretty neutral on Cam, only because I feel like he's working with the baddest bitches in the house, you know? Even Makensy up until this week, I was like, he's not beating Makensy, but she out here nominating her closest ally, so he can now, Jow. I just think with Cam, like I said, that's his biggest flaw. He wants to go to the end game with some pretty strong competitors. I like now that he's considering Angela being in his top 4 because that's more competitive on being able to beat. But if she is able to beat him in top 4, because he hasn't been able to win yet. So if Angela beats him, then he's going to be out. So it's I just feel like he needs to pick it up in these competitions, and he needs to do better with his social game as well. I understand he doesn't want to work with Kimo and Rubina, but it's I think he's turning on them mainly because he doesn't have a connection with them, and that's because he's not really actively speaking with them as far as the game or moving forward. And they're not doing it with him either, to be fair, but it's he's the person in the position of power. So it's I would want him to be the person extending that branch because he's the one that's fighting for the win. But he's not really doing that. Activeness as a player, it's not really there. He's one of those players that people like him, so he's not really considered a target. And I feel like that's one thing I realized about his game. He was never, ever really considered a target. He has a social game that works because the people he is connecting with, they're winning the competition and keeping him safe. There are a few times where if someone else got power, he probably been in danger, but that hasn't really happened. So that's good. But it's just there isn't much else past that. It reminds me a lot of Matt last season, where it's I see that. I'm looking for something else. What else? And it's this week he really went in with the plan to get against Leah. But I feel like for me, how I perceived it, that was Chelsie kind of influencing him and then got him on board. And then he helped influence MJ with Chelsie. Because up until last week, he had a great relationship with Leah. It wasn't until this week he was well, at the end of last week and this week, he was no, I turn on Leah. I'm not loyal to Leah. And to me, it seems like that was Chelsie putting that in his head. So I feel like he was in on the plan to go against Leah. So he did great work in ensuring that was the plan, but he didn't enact the plan. He didn't come up with the plan. He was being a good soldier and pushing the plan, but that's what he is in this game. He's a good knight for Chelsie. I don't get anything else, really. So I'm gonna just keep it at the 6. I've been giving him a 6 for weeks now. But because I just feel with Cam, I do think that he's someone, if he wins, you can call him a good winner, but it's mainly because of the socialness. And his socialness comes from a lot of his just demeanor. He's very chill. He doesn't piss people off. He doesn't make too many mistakes. But it's also because he's not doing much. He's kind of just there, chilling.
The Mac comparison was really good. And it's I think Cam is very good at the socialness, like you said. He's social strategy. The strategy's silent. And I feel or very quiet. And I feel a lot of or at least some of the ways he moves throughout the house is intentional. And I felt the same way about Matt last season as well. I do think it's intentional, some of the ways you move around the house and some of the people you're deciding to, stand by and align with and shit like that. So I think that part is good on him. But like you said, it's like, it doesn't seem like the Leah thing was really his own idea that blemished from his mind. It seems like it was implanted by Chelsie. And I don't think there has been an idea that blemished from his mind that I've seen occur in the house. And it's like, that's not good. Like, I don't know any moves that you made or anything that you did. And I feel like the jury will feel the same. Angela was saying it to herself the other day, like, you're just a minion for Chelsie. And it's like, I feel like everyone's going to know you and Makensy were just minions for Chelsie. And then if you're nommed against Makensy, Makensy has a story and you don't, not nommed. If you're in final two against Makensy, Makensy has a story and you don't. And it's like, that's who he wants in his end game. And it's like, I don't see him really winning against a lot of people. I think he could try to have an argument against Makensy, could try to have an argument against Rubina or Kimo. But at the end of the day, they have a lot better either allies or stories. He doesn't have deep relationships like that in this jury compared to some of the other people in the jury. So I don't know. I really don't see the finale ending with him winning. And that's like what's holding me back, because it's like, I want to say he's playing good. I want to say he's in a good position. He just doesn't have the win equity that I feel other people have. So I'm going to do the 6 as well. And then we'll just see. He's a weird one. Next is Leah. Oh, Mama's is going home.
The fall from grace.
I do think Leah's a pretty good player. It's kind of weird. Like, I feel like she's very, very smart. And I think the idea she had before her HOH was smart. Even during her HOH, it's like she really, really did think she should take out Chelsie. And she did think that Chelsie and T-Core were her biggest threats. And it's like, all of her thoughts are super smart and super correct. She just got gun shy. What's it called? Trigger shy? Whatever. She got scared when she won HOH. And instead of pulling the trigger on who she needed to pull it on, and she knew she needed to pull it on, she got scared that there was going to be backlash. So she just didn't do it. And so now this week she's regretting it. But honestly, like, being capable of understanding she should have did it and regretting she should have did it, to me, is more than any other player in this game has done other than Chelsie. And it's no shade. Like, I feel like she's clearly super, super smart. When she had her conversations with Makensy, every time she finishes, Makensy wants her to stay or doesn't want her on the block anymore. She's just going up against an actual good player, Chelsie, that y'all don't want to admit. So even though Leah's fighting her ass off to stay this week, it's not working because Chelsie is a better player than her and she's really ramming it down. So I feel like, and Chelsie has made Makensy believe, not even believe, Chelsie has kind of convinced the rest of the house to want this. So now Makensy knows everyone else in the house is going to be mad about it, but it's like, all this came from Chelsie. Like, no one really even cared if Angela went home, but now everyone wants Leah out because Chelsie has made everyone else push this rhetoric alongside of her. So now it feels like the house wants you out. And now all these lies about Leah are getting told. And I feel like she's just going up against a baddie, honestly. And I feel like the move she made was a little bit wrong, obviously. And she kind of feels that too. So very just icky situation. Makensy shouldn't be doing it, so I feel bad about that as well. I just don't think she necessarily played this week bad. Even last week, I wouldn't even say it was bad. Like, T-Core is that girl. T-Core probably would have beat you if she didn't go home. And I was telling Leah this, like, in the world where Leah takes out Chelsie instead of T-Core, Leah's in the same position, not the exact same position because Makensy probably would need her, but Leah's still in a position where T-Core is finna win the fucking game. All of the trio's still here. T-Core is still here. Cam wanted T-Core in the end. Like, she still wouldn't have been in the best position necessarily in that world either, but it would have been way better. And I think that's the issue. She's going home. And she made a bad move last week. So I got to give her the 2.
Yeah.
But that overall will be different.
And at the time, like, I was saying that, like, I feel like she did the best move with the information that she had, because I understand the trying to work with Chelsea's trio, especially because she had a good relationship with Cam. She had a good relationship with Makensy. And Makensy shouldn't even be making this move. Like, we talked about it off the podcast. Like, imagine a situation where she stuck to her guns. She did Chelsie. Chelsie went home. Makensy won HOH, and then she convinced Makensy to take out T-Core. Like, girl, you could have got them out back to back anyway. Yeah. If you just went ahead with your original idea and took out Chelsie. But she didn't do that because, like you said, she was scared. And honestly, because Chelsea is just that girl. Chelsie had so much influence when it came to Cam and Makensy that they did so much to protect her in those conversations. Like, she was never going to put up Chelsie because of her relationship with Cam and Makensy. Yeah. So that was bad for her. Like, she's just going up against a really strong player, and even this week, it's like the reason why Makensy is doing it is because of Chelsea's influence. So and Leah was aware that Chelsie would have been this issue. She just was basically convinced by all of Chelsea's power structure last week that it wasn't a smart idea. So I feel like I'm just gonna go with the 2 as well. Like, I don't think Makensy should be doing this, and I don't think she did anything terrible this week. I feel like even the move to take out T-Core would have been fine because Makensy shouldn't be taking her out this week. Yep, exactly. It shouldn't be happening. Like, she should have been able to take out T-Core and been cool this week, but it was Makensy's influence. I would say, like, some overall things on a game perspective, she should have definitely worked on her relationship with Chelsie. Like, Leah has been a floater throughout this game. She's been hopping through here, hopping over here, but she hasn't been brought into any real alliances. She hasn't really made any, like, lasting connections with anyone outside of Quinn, Joseph, and now Angela. Everyone else felt the same kind of surface level about her. So I'm not shocked that it caught up to her and she got sent home in this way, especially with a player like Chelsie that was out for her.
I agree. Martino Williams says, Chelsie is an okay player playing with a bunch of bad players. I just don't agree with the take. But also, I want to ask, who is another okay player you would compare Chelsie to? Because when y'all say that, I can't really think of what y'all are saying. What do you mean okay player? Who's a player you would compare
every
Chelsea's
other player that's played with bad people that's playing how Chelsea's playing has been
been considered legends. Like Dan and BB with BB14 or Derek and BB16.
Like, if we're going based off a dumb cast, don't tell me anything about Dan's funeral anymore. Don't tell me Derek's one of the best to ever play. Don't.
And honestly, like, I hate to say it because every time I talk about, like, Dan and his situation, I feel like BB10 and BB14 had sloppy players all throughout both of those seasons, and none of them were necessarily just the best legends in Big Brother history. I mean, no shade, Keisha came back and went on first, and she was on BB10. Memphis flopped, no shade. He tried his hardest and still got, 6th place on All-Stars. It's like, I don't know. It never really gave, even with the legends of this game, that their cast was full of just, oh my God, they're full of amazing people and da. So I don't really understand what you mean by she's an okay player and everyone else is just bad, because what okay player is convincing people to nom their allies? I can't name one player who's convinced someone to nom their allies and they've only been okay. They're all considered legend status, at least to me. So I don't know. I'm name names and then we'll come back to that.
I mean, the thing is, we see this every season. The amount of times we've seen players start at the head, they have a fall from grace and go home. Chelsie still has not went home. And that shows the type of player that she is. She's adaptable. She can work against adversity. Some of the greats haven't had to work against any adversity within their seasons. So I just feel like it's not a fair argument. We've seen this girl play an onion structure. She's had secret alliances. She's been on the bottom. She's been on the top. She's been a floater. This girl has worked this house
literally
since the beginning.
Literally. I don't know. It's just, I don't understand it. I think maybe like the lack of gameplay when it comes to, not even gameplay, I would say the lack of strategy talk or the strategy throughout the season makes it seem like everyone else is just super, super terrible at the game or something like that. But I don't know what it is that makes people feel like Chelsie is just this terrible player. I feel like she's very, very good. But hey, I guess we'll just wait and see. Like I said, let's revisit on the finale night, I guess. Makensy. Ooh, baby. She had a 7 last week. Very good move last week. Helping take out T-Core, helping position herself between Angela and Leah, and Chelsie and Cam. And now this week, she took it all back. She said, never mind.
I want to lose
real bad. So she put up Angela, which was honestly, like people were saying, I was like, I guess it's okay. Like, I wasn't even that mad.
It's funny because I remember I
wasn't even that mad.
I texted you when I found out Makensy won, and I was like, girl, Chelsie need to lock in. She needs to make sure Angela goes this week. And then Makensy got on the feeds. I want Makensy to go home. I mean, I want Angela to go home.
And
it's like,
easily. Girl. So I thought it was dumb, but I was just like, oh, okay. I mean, hey, she'll figure it out. Didn't figure it out. Like, a part of me was even like, Kimo could still go in this week because Angela was nommed against Kimo. And I'm like, okay, Angela could win veto. She'd probably put up Rubina. Leah could win veto, use it on Angela. She'd probably put up Rubina. Maybe Cam and them could be like, Kimo's a bigger threat. Like, a part of me was just like, okay, this could still go in a way where it's fine for her. People won't be that mad. Leah's not going to care. Who gives a fuck? And then she got convinced to put up Leah and then not even take Angela off the block. There's no going back because even she went back on the idea and was like, never mind, I want Leah to stay. But there's no going back because for Leah to stay, Angela has to go, and that's still terrible for you. So she just made a already bad move into like a terrible move altogether, all around. There's no going back from it. There's nothing you could do, and you're stuck. And she won the veto and did it.
She won the veto and did
You're embarrassing. Like, you're so embarrassing.
I think that's the most hilarious thing. Like, that's like so crazy. Like, that's another like 10 for Chelsie because it's like, girl,
literally,
this girl had no reason to make this move at all. She had veto and HOH.
She vetoed her own nominations to make worse nominate. Like, oh, please. So I didn't love any of this. And all this did is really not solidify because anything's possible, but it made her chances go from most likely to win to damn near least likely to win in just this week because Leah does seem a little bitter. No shade. It makes her
bitter because it's a dumbass move.
Yeah, like rightfully so.
Anyone is gonna look at this as a smart move. Like,
exactly,
especially the people already in jury.
It looks like you got manipulated. It did not even look like you got manipulated. It's obvious you did. You put up somebody who was never going to take you out. It's going to be super hard for her to win the game, and she still wants to go to the end with Chelsie from what we know. So it's like all this proved to me is that you are Chelsea's minion, and you want to get second to her real bad. So I'm going to give her the 0.
And I love her for that. Love her for that.
0. Lee?
Keep her to 0. Oh my god.
I know that's right.
I mean, just for this week, I have to give her the 0 this week. You weren't playing Big Brother this week. I don't know what she was doing. She was playing
brother.
She was playing Chelsie brother. She was playing God 101. Okay, that's what she was playing. She wasn't playing Big Brother. She literally ends up putting 2 people on the block that trust her, wanted to work with her. 2 people that she could have been well insulated would have put her in a well insulated position and kept Rubina and Kimo safe. And Rubina and Kimo are talking about targeting her.
Yep.
Like, she didn't do anything smart or great for her game. I do think she could still be in the end game. I do think that she could still be in final 2. But for this week, for the decisions that she made this week, for the puppetry, I have to give her the 0. And you know why I have to give her the 0?
Why you gotta give her the 0?
Because that 0 is part of Chelsea's 10. The 0 for Makensy, it goes to Chelsea's 10. Period.
I know that's the fuck right. So Lee, talk some more about Chelsea's game and why you're gonna go ahead and have to give her this.
I'm gonna give Chelsie the motherfucking 10 because we saw it. We saw her skate this week up. She literally convinced Makensy to make the most terrible move for her game. Makensy had HOA, she had veto, she had the best social connections in the game, and Chelsie convinced her to take away all of that in 1 week and replace that position. She said, no, bitch, I'm back in the middle of this bitch. Okay. She said, she said, hood holy, ratchet and righteous. Okay. And she got right back in her position. I just think that she is running this game. It's her game to win. She's so well connected. And another reason why she's getting the 10 is because she's the safest going into the double. One of the most dangerous nights for a player who is in Chelsea's archetype. And she's the safest going into it because she has had this game on lock since the beginning. She has great relationships with Rubina and Kimo. She has great relationships with Cam and Makensy. Angela is the only person targeting her, and even if Angela gets her on the block, there's no way to get her sent home. So I just think she played magnificently this week, and I'm excited to see her win.
I agree with everything you said. It's a 10 for me. This is like the moves of a legend. someone said, is this the first 10 on TRK? I gave a 10 to Anthony Douglas last season when he got somebody to put up their closest ally that week. So this is just the move of a legend. It's the move of a 10. These is the type of moves you give 10s. When you think about what week should we give someone a 10? A week where they're making their closest ally get backdoored by their other ally. Like, I don't know. Like, it's literally getting crazy. And then Leah was her biggest enemy. That was her biggest op.
Leah was her biggest op.
She's sniping out her biggest op.
Took down the whole Challengers Alliance. She took out Quinn herself, flipped on Joseph, and took out Leah.
Damn.
On Leah's besties HOH.
On Leah's besties HOH. So it's really a 10. It really is. 10 10s across the board for sure. I don't know if this is the first 10 in BBUS though, because I know I gave Anthony a 10 probably like twice. I know I gave Kevin a 10 when we did that season, but BBUS
Three a 10 because you'll be giving some wild ass.
I'll give a 10 here. I will give a 10 very quickly. So there could have been some other 10s, but this is a 10 for Chelsie.
And it's just look at the people who's went home. She orchestrated, mind you, after her bestie Cedric and Brooklyn went home. She orchestrated the Tucker flip. She orchestrated the Joseph flip. She took out Quinn herself, and now she's taking out Leah. On Makensy's HOH.
And the first 3...
She's been running this game. Stomping through it, bitch.
And the first 3... I mean, you could take away the first week. But the second and third week, she had the control. She was the HOH for the second week. And then the third week, Cedric was the HOH, where she had a lot of influence on that as well. It's like, she's been in control of the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, 8 of the 10 weeks. So, I don't know what to tell y'all. I really
she's going to continue to be in control of the game.
Yeah.
Like, she's
honestly, we'll get into her game when we do our deep dive. Shit.
Yeah.
At Final 3, make sure you watch our Final 3 deep dive where we go back and talk about the players' games, because we're going to be talking about Chelsea's game week by week.
Period.
Okay? For the girlies who don't understand it, we can really get into it. And I think that's another thing. Like, I don't know if it's hard to think about, but you really have to consider all of the points of her game up to this moment. You can't just look at this week and be like, oh, they're all stupid, that's it. That's not a viable way to discuss whether someone is a good / great player or not. You can't just say everyone else is stupid and move forward just because of this one very bad move.
That's an unfair argument.
Like, you have to look at everything else about Chelsea's game. Chelsea's entire core alliance got exposed week 3. Actually got exposed week 2, and then it blew up week 4, and she's still in the game in the best position. And everyone knew every single thing about her game at the beginning of the game.
She had to rebuild her game. The people that she's in the end game with, the structure that's protecting her now was not the same structure that she had within the first 5 weeks of this game. We haven't seen a player had to switch up like this and still have the power that she has, the control that she has. It's unheard of. It truly is. We cannot act like this woman is not breaking boundaries within this game. Some of your faves, some of the same people we call legends, stayed in one position the entire time. One position the entire time. But if we're being for real, it's reminding me of Dan, because who else is someone that can go from the bottom to the top?
Clock that team. A lot of the legends do it, because Will did it as well. Anthony did it as well. Chelsea's doing it as we speak. It's very difficult to be put in such a terrible position as in the game and then still make it far. Her and Cam are the only 2 people who were a part of that original Pentagon Alliance that are still here in the game, and she's in the best position. It's like, girl, they blew them up and they're still here. Like, we saw last season, Sari, a legendary player across seasons, when her alliance got blown up, she was not able to regain those pieces and end up winning the game. Of course, she didn't have as much time as Chelsie does, but even with what we saw, it's like the way Chelsie bounced back was literally immediately after Brooklyn went home. Chelsie ran the vote to take out Tucker. The next week, her closest ally went home, and the next week she ran the vote.
Like, y'all not
name another bitch who could do it. Name someone else who could do that. Quick! Anyways, so I have them in order. Makensy at the bottom, flop. And then we have Kimo, also a flop. Leah and Angela, And then the highest 3 rated are Rubina with a 4.
Rubina in top 3.
Rubina with a 4, Cam with a 6, and Chelsie with a 10. You know what's crazy, Lee? This is my predicted final 3. According to the way conversations have been going, it seems like Angela, Kimo, and Makensy are going to be targeted and taken out. I could definitely see Rubina, Cam, and Chelsie be in the top 3. I would not be surprised.
Ew, they both taking out the final 2.
And they both taking out the final 2. But honestly, she's probably winning the final HOH. Like, damn. No shade. Rubina and Kimo, Rubina and Cam ain't won shit. So that'll be very interesting. And then Chelsie with a 10, the gap, bitch. Between Chelsie with a 10.
Of course.
And then Cam with a 6. Child, please. But hey, there we are. That was the week. Very simple, but there's a double on the horizon. So that's exciting.
I'm scared. Oh, I'm scared. I'm not that nervous because I do think Chelsie is safe regardless. I just, doubles make me scared.
Yeah.
No shade. I want Angela out.
You do.
Because I know it's a lot of Angela fans in the chat.
Had to whisper. Yeah.
I'm fine with Angela going in the double. There's no shade.
I want her out too. But who do you think is leaving? Justin said, who do you think is leaving? Because you said you don't necessarily think
I don't know.
Angela will leave.
I don't know. I don't think Angela will leave because I think she's going to win the competition. If she doesn't win the comp, she's going home.
Mm-hmm. To me, it's either Angela or Kimo. I don't see any other super viable scenario. But I think it's just Angela. Martino really think it's Chelsie.
Because I saw earlier in chat, he said MJ gonna wake up and take her out. If MJ just got convinced to nominate
Martino, come back next week.
Allies.
I want to see you next week. I want to see you right here next week at the same time. Period. Or on Thursday. Actually, we'll be here Thursday. So check us out on Thursday. We will be covering the double eviction and getting into whoever went the fuck home. It will be Angela and Leah. So definitely get into that. And we're also covering Survivor on every Wednesday. We're also covering the challenge on every Thursday. And that's it, y'all. Thank you for keeping it real with the kingdom, baby.
Wow.
We out. Bye. Wow.